Selling fitness packages are so goddamn easy. People just don't have the right tools in their arsenal to actually do it effectively. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the exact freaking tactics that you're going to need, like you're a samurai with your samurai sword, or you're a crusader with your big heavy sword, whatever. You need your weapon to go into battle, and in this video, I'm going to give you the weapons that you will need to go into battle, right? Exactly what you're going to need. It's going to be a multi-step process, this video, so let's jump into it. Number one, I just want to talk about the foundation of all fitness selling. When you think about somebody making a decision with fitness, they only make decisions emotionally, right? And this is a very important concept. If you look at other sectors of business, finance, for example, real estate, whatever, a lot of that is based upon logic, right? But fitness, for example, the market of fitness, people move very emotionally within fitness. One day somebody wants to lose 30 pounds, the next day they're stuffing their face with cake. It's just how it is, right? So this is something that you have to know when you're selling fitness packages, and this is something you have to keep on the front of your mind. So what does this even mean, right? What does this mean? How do you use this to your advantage? Well, number one, you have to access that emotional point of view. If you appeal to someone logically, they're never going to buy from you ever. Just get that through your mind. Get that through your little mind. They're never going to buy from you ever if you appeal to them emotionally. Let me give an example of somebody appealing to someone emotionally versus logically in a selling setting. So, logically would be, yeah, you can lose 20 pounds eating 2,100 calories with me, with our meal plan tracker that helps you track every calorie. And you're going to take this supplement, L-carnitine and coenzyme Q10, and then maybe some creatine, 10 grams. Boring. Number two, emotional. All right. Yeah. So, you know how you were talking about, like, really being able to just be on the beach in Mexico with your husband and your kids, and, your kid looks over at you and they see, dad with the six pack, and, he's looking good. He's feeling good. He's able to throw the kids up in the air. That's where we want to get you. Do you see the difference between the two? You have to learn to appeal emotionally and not logically, especially in fitness. Okay, if you were selling stocks, that'd be a whole other story. Yeah, so, the margins on the stock are going to go up 20% next year. The EBITDA's looking good, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Buy the stock. It's going to be a good purchase. Cool. This is a totally separate game. Okay, so next. Number one is basically appealing emotionally and not logically. That's a big one. Very big one. Number two, and this is also kind of specific in terms of selling in general. When you're in a sales conversation, you can never create desire. You're only tapping into desire, right? So let me explain this to you. When you're talking to someone, you can't force them to buy your product. You're only amplifying the desire that they already have. What does this mean, right? So when you're talking to someone, make it clear, right? Make it crystal clear about their desires and let them know about their desires, right? If that desire is not there, then don't try to work through it, because you're just literally going to be wasting your own time, which is the most valuable thing, period, right? Your time is the one thing you can't get back. Am I wrong? Right? You need to be protecting your time, and you should not be wasting your time with people who are not ready to, or who don't have that strong desire to actually act on this. So let me explain this to you. There's levels of pain that people are in. And the higher that pain, the more likely they are to move away from that pain. If I have stage 4 cancer, I'm going to go and get that checked out ASAP instead of if I had a little cut on my toe. They're different levels of pain, right? I'm more likely to go to the doctor in that case of cancer, right? In the other case, not really. Why? Pain. So if their pain isn't high enough, just don't deal with them because their desire is not strong enough, and you honestly can't try and keep trying to run uphill, 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 because you're just going to end up wasting your own time. Point number 3 is about persuading the person. So what is persuasion? Not persuasion, persuasion. So I read this book called Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. It's actually a pretty interesting book. The book talks about pre-framing everything. So instead of just making offers, hey, my fitness package is $1,200. Hey, I'm selling this for this much. Hey, yeah, here's the offer. You have to build up the frame and the base for that offer so that it looks elevated to when you're actually saying the offer. Picture the offer is like a house, right? That house could be in the valley or it could be on the top of a mountain, right? It's all about where you're framing it so that it's on the top of the mountain and it looks higher, right? When you're persuading someone, you have to build this pre-existing frame, right? How do you build this pre-existing frame? Well, it's simple, right? You're going to do this by asking a ton of questions. Questions are the biggest persuaders, right? Persuading factors. They did this study, and telling someone something, hey, you should buy my program, versus asking a question about it, the question is, I think it was like 10 times more effective in terms of actually persuading that person's beliefs, right? So persuasion, and talk about using questions to gather data, analyze their case, see if you can help them out in the first place, pre-frame that offer, make yourself look interested, make yourself look good. I don't give a shit if you're not interested. You're going to make yourself look interested, right? Let them talk because they're not persuading you, they're persuading themselves, or should I say persuading themselves, right? Before you actually say your offer, which obviously is in direct correlation with their pain, right? So what that persuasion does, and I know this is a kind of a very large topic, pre-framing. It's very vague and broad. But what you're going to want to do in the pre-framing is you're just going to be asking a ton of questions. Are there different kind of questions? Of course. But to give you the rundown, you're going to ask simple connecting questions. So, hey, what are you doing now? How does this process look? What are you doing this with this? Why are you doing this? Right? Then you're going to move into some form of problem awareness question. Why not this? Then you're going to do a problem, like a solution awareness question, make them see the upside, right? All you're doing in this entire process is gathering pain, showing them their pain, and then gathering pleasure and showing them the pleasure. It's like, figuratively, of course, going up to someone who's in a like going up to a drug addict who's going through withdrawals and dingling a bag of like cocaine in front of him and saying, "You want it? You want it?" Right? You're just getting him to see that. That's all you're doing with this. Persuading. And last but not least, this is probably the most important, potentially one of the most important aspects of the last 3 that I just covered. And this is where I would say about 80% of people horribly mess up, right? What is this last one? It's about stating the freaking price. How do you state the price effectively? Let me explain this to you. When they say, awesome, everything looks good, now what's the price? What's going on in their mind is they have this arbitrary number. They're like, if it was this much, maybe I'd buy it. If it was this much, definitely not. They're already going through that. And throughout the call, they've obviously been anticipating that. It's like people just do that. Like that's just common human nature. When you state the price, here's what not to do. So, hey, what's the price? Yeah, like the price is $4,500 But you're getting so much value. Like it's actually a really good. It's really good. Most people like really like it. It's $4,500, but like you're really gonna have a good time with it. And I really think that this is gonna work for you. Yeah, I think this is gonna be really good for you. How does the 4,500? Do you like the 4,500? Right after you say the price, shut up. Never qualify when you are making a statement about the price. What that does, so this is like a very vulnerable time in the selling situation because when you're saying the price, you're putting yourself kind of in a emotional sense of vulnerability, right? Emotional vulnerability. And that's when most people will crack and then they'll start to qualify for the person, right? Because they're afraid to lose them because the price is a little too much and they're trying to make them feel, you get what I mean. Confident salesmen and salesmen that close are just going to say, yep, so the price is only $4,500. Shut up. Let them talk. And I don't care if it's a 30-second pause. I don't care. They have to talk first. If you say the price and you talk before they've responded, you lost the sale. Every time I've talked after I've said the price, I've lost the sale, period. So, hey, the price is $4,500. And then just shut up. And then wait. And then they'll say either yes, no, or no, they won't say no. They'll say, yeah, that sounds good. Or they'll say, oh, I have a few objections. Let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. I'm going to talk about objection handling in another video because that's a whole nother topic of selling in itself. But this is basically how to sell fitness packages as someone who has sold over 6 figures in the past 6 months in fitness packages. So just remember that a lot of things are native to fitness. Like I said, the emotionality of it. So you need to understand that, and you need to understand that a lot of the things that you see in daily life apply to just selling in general, right? So ask your mom to go hang out, you ask a girl to hang out, it all applies, right? It's the same thing here, it's the same thing there. Look around you and try to take things from everywhere. I know this video is something that can maybe sharpen your saw, sharpen your samurai sword a little bit, but you're the one who's going to have to make connections, and you're the one who's actually going to have to digest and use this in the battleground. I can give you the best sword of all time. It won't matter unless you're actually swinging it in battle. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up. If this helped you in any way, if you were able to sell from this, if you made money from this video, that actually makes my day. If you made money selling more from this video, like awesome, good job. Leave a comment, leave a like. I'm responding to all the comments. Thank you.